There are some things you don't want to be on the wrong side of. The law, the wall between the U.S. and Mexico, and a sword.
Whether in the cafes, the clubs, or the museums, it seems you can't go anywhere these days without walking into a sword. But what do we really know about these deadly stab sticks?
Nothing. But when it comes to swords, what you don't know might get you impaled.
Which is why we're here to give you the whole truths on swords, man's sharpest friend. Hi, we're knowledge experts. I'm Bruce LaPierre, this is Truck Weldon, and Gordon Phipp.
I'm named after my father, a man I barely knew.
For years, the accepted wisdom was that swords were the mightiest of man's inventions.
Easier to wield than a catapult, far sharper than the wheel.
That all changed in 1839, when Edward Bulwer Lytton, a cocky young writer with a stupid British name, uttered the following words.
Swords are good, but pens are better.
This simple turn of phrase would open the mother of all cans of worms, except instead of worms, cobras, and instead of a can, a gun.
With the cobras out of the gun, scholars quickly divided into two warring factions, swordists and penophiles. Thousands died. So, which is mightier, pen or sword? We've devised a series of tests that will settle the matter once and for all. Looks like the pen and the sword are equally mighty. Still, there's one thing that's mightier than both: the neutron bomb.
Other than sorting nails into boards, not much. But that wasn't always the case. Long before they were weapons, swords were used as units of measurement. To calculate something's total sword, you simply add its height in swords, its weight in swords, and divide the latter by the former. Easy. And very sensible. Using that equation and the relevant census data, we can determine the average man's total sword to be 32.77. By contrast, the Empire State Building has a sword of 1,754,807.69.
And so, for centuries, the story of swords was one of untapped potential, as men fought battles with sticks in their stupid hands.
Until one day, an Athenian regiment was attacked while they were being sized up for some new uniforms by a group of swordsmen.
Which is what they called tailors. Panicked and totally nude, the Athenians grabbed whatever they could to defend themselves.
And just like that, a new, more practical use for the sword was born.
It would be several hundred years and countless severed fingers before the hilt was invented, spurring on the hilt mania of the 1300s, as evidenced by this popular song of the day.
Hilty, 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 hilty,
Good question. History is filled with swords with great names. There's Excalibur. But how do you choose the right one for you?
To find your sword name, simply combine your favorite color with your least favorite weather.
My sword's called Scarlet Wind.
That's also a pretty cool band name.
Which is why we called our band that.
hilty.